it's Deidre again. Today I'm going to show you while I apply my jumbo tail guard made by SurfCo Hawaii to my paddleboard. Now, I got this paddleboard this year for my birthday and I have just really enjoyed it. It's a 10-foot board that's only 19 pounds. And because it's only 19 pounds, I can maneuver it by myself. Because it's only 10 feet, I don't have to put it on the top of my Honda Pilot. I can throw it in the back, throw my paddle in there, my life jacket, and just go. And I have really enjoyed it in the heat of the North Carolina summer, just be able to go to many of our local lakes, get a little exercise, and I've really enjoyed it. The problem is, as most of us, that's a big item to try and store. So I'm going to show you right here where I have to store this paddleboard. So this is where my paddleboard gets stored, in the garage, behind the freezer, and in order for me to get it in there, sometimes I have to rotate it a little bit on the bottom and slide it over there, and I want to protect it. So that's why I want to put a tail guard on there. So because of where I have to store it, this bottom edge, when I put it up on the edge, is starting to get a little rough. And I really want to take care of it. I mean, things happen, and you can repair them, but if I know that this area is going to take some wear and tear, I want to try and protect it. So a lot of the wear and tear comes from I'm carrying it horizontally by the handle, and then I have to bring it up vertically to store it. So when I do that, it generally puts a little weight on this edge. So I went online and I looked for a product called a stand-up paddleboard tail guard. Now, this isn't just made for stand-up paddleboards. This is actually made for stand-up paddleboards and skating longboards. And there are two versions of this. This is called the jumbo, and there's also, I think it's just called a regular tail guard. Now, if you had a smaller stand-up paddleboard or a thinner stand-up paddleboard, you would get the regular one. The regular tail guard is designed to fit short and long skateboards, but will also fit stand-up paddleboards with a thin tail, 3/8 of an inch to 1 inch, and narrow tails from 4 to 6 inches. Now, mine is bigger than that. Mine's actually 9 inches across by 1 1/4 inches thick. So I needed the jumbo tail guard. The jumbo tail guard is designed to fit stand-up paddleboards that are between 1 and 2 inches thick and between 6 and 10 inches wide. So you definitely want to get the right size for your application. And in here, I'm going to show you as I open it that they've got what we need to apply it. So again, show you closer, made by SurfCo Hawaii Jumbo Tail Guard. Okay, so I started to read the package, and it said to position the board with the bottom of the tail facing you. So I turned my board over, as you see here, and then we're going to open this up and continue reading. Reading instructions is a good thing, men out there. Okay, so in here we have an easy to apply peel and sticks tail guard. Okay, and we also have proudly made in America. We also have in here a little bit of sandpaper, a little peel and stick adhesive primer, and of course an advertising insert for all the other things you can buy for your stand-up paddleboard. Oh, and also these come in different colors. If you wanted a tail guard that was a different color, it looks like they have red, green, maybe black, and yellow. So keep that in mind. I wanted clear. I wanted clear for this one. Okay, so let's get back to reading our instructions here. Position the board with the tail facing you. Clean the tail area that will be covered by the tail guard so that you don't have wax, sand, or water. Use acetone or rubbing alcohol if necessary. Okay, so let me go get some rubbing alcohol. Okay, so now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of putting this on here. Alright, so we take a little rubbing alcohol, or you can take acetone, it says. What you're wanting to do is get off any wax or sand or I guess salt water, anything that you might have that would keep it from sticking. And a little little sand, something ground in there. Off a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do that. Okay, and then it gives you a little bit of sandpaper, and it tells you to go ahead and just lightly sand that area. Sanding this beautiful epoxy finish is not something I'm enjoying, but it'll help protect it more as I use this board more and more. Okay, let's give it just a light sand. Okay, now it says to take that sanding dust off. A little bit of a wet paper towel. There we go, so our edge should be ready. Alright. Now it says to dry test fit the tail guard. So as I'm looking at this, there's a notched part of the tail guard and then there's a straight edge. So it makes sense, and it says to line up the hard edge of the tail guard with the hard edge of your board. So this hard edge should line up with the board. And that makes sense also because if the board was right side up, the brand name tail guard would be right side up. So I think we're on track here. Alright, so we're going to dry fit it, and we're going to see actually that's going to be it's actually like it was made for this board. The sizing is just great. I imagine if it's a little smaller, a little longer, you can do some cutting, you can do some molding on those edges and get it to fit on there. This looks like we're really going to have a good fit. Okay, so then we have this patch in here that's called the Peel and Stick Adhesive Primer. Alright, so we're going to tear open the pouch, exposing the towelette. Okay, but it says to keep the towelette in the pouch, so maybe we're not supposed to touch it. Don't know about that. Okay, so I'll do what it says. Keep the towelette in there. And put this primer, I'm calling it a primer, on the edge of the board. Okay, so after we have it primed, I'm going to put that away. It says to peel off the adhesive for the tail guard. Okay, so you can see that there's just a small piece of plastic there for the adhesive. Alright, and then we're going to get this on here. Like I said, this looks like a good fit. So, slide it on there. And get these edges up. One edge and two edge. Okay, it says to then make sure you press really hard and get all of the air bubbles out. Okay, I don't see anything that really looks like a true air bubble, but regardless, we're going to get it on there really well. Okay, so I have really pressed this on here, and it looks good. It's on there really well. I'm happy with that. So it says, according to the instructions, that's it. Your board can immediately be taken into the water. The tail guard will not come off with proper application and normal use. Please contact your local surf shop or SurfCo Hawaii if you experience any difficulties in application or in use of the tail guard. Okay, so it's on there. So now I'm going to go and store this thing back, and I'm going to show you how big this thing is and why I'm really excited to have this on here. So here we go. Got the tail guard on the bottom, so now you can see if I have to maneuver this, which I will, to put it back over behind the freezer, I can do that. There's enough to dodge around here. That's nice to have a resting point for that. And also when you get to your destination at the lake, sometimes you put your paddleboard up against a tree or up against something. Be very careful. You don't want it to fall because these things can break or you get a crack in it, and you certainly don't want to do that. So be careful wherever you put it up. But having that extra padding on the bottom certainly helps maneuver things. Because this one's only 10 feet, a lot of them are 11 and 12, and I think this is going to help out a lot. So it's about 95 degrees here and hot, humid, so I think I might try and find somebody to go to the lake with me. So have a great day. I hope this video you found helpful. I didn't see a lot of videos on the installation of this tail guard, so I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Until next time, take care.